I just want to practically understand. So, Himanshu sir, you are from Delhi. You are sitting there in Delhi. Sir is also from Delhi.
Hmm.
He's sitting there in Delhi. He was presenting some very
Hmm.
interesting points of social intervention. You know, I don't know how practical
Hmm.
it is, how we can, or the government, or the public as a
No,
whole can do that. So, can you put up your point on this, your take on this?
uh-huh. Sir, I fully endorse his views. Moreover, his views are, as he said, ki everyone is talking about technical interventions, but no one is talking about social interventions. As a like we might have a very good IQ, if we don't have a good EQ, it somehow doesn't have a good understanding on the basic facts which we have around our world, around our life. So if we have a good knowledge of how social or like social environment is performing, how we can do something in that, and without use of technology, if we can do something, so that is a very good thing. And I fully support his views. How he showed ki for India Gate, like 2 lakh people visit daily, and how they do something great for the how electricity consumption during peak demand is being getting shifted to some other time during a particular day. So if such social interventions are introduced, like he talked about smart metering, if with the introduction of it, like people have, if we introduce a tariff mechanism that if during this hour, if you consume electricity, such and such charges will be payable. If you so if we implement that thing, then surely we will have a more stable grid. I fully endorse his view, sir.
Thank you for your views. Mr. Manan, you are from a research institute based at Gujarat.
Yes.
So if I ask the same thing from, and I just also want to add one thing that how research institutes can, can contribute in this, if I say.
Uh, Yeah, I also would like to endorse Rajesh sir's comment. Social intervention is very, very important. Now, in line with research organization like us, we do have different segment of the training and capacity building in line with the area, the emerging area. Let's say, for example, offshore wind. So recently we had a kind of TOT based training program from the organization called Oceans Energy. It's a UK based organization. So they identified selected people, government officials, and they provided the kind of platform to learn the offshore wind power potentials, the social impact of offshore wind power potentials. Also, they verified the amount of job availability or generation of new jobs due to the new emerging trends. So, if we can connect the social intervention term not only in line with the energy sector but also in line with the job segment, in line with skilling segment, because as per my knowledge, BEE, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, is working. They are doing some sort of awareness programs regarding shifting their residential electrical load in off-peak hours. Let's say usage of washing machine, usage of mixtures, and routine applications that the household women can identify. They can use the same devices, same gadgets in off-peak hours. So as per my knowledge, government is also working towards the same. But more or less, it's all about awareness. So, like tactfully, we need to deal with the society, because all of a sudden, if we can say that your lunch break is now from 2 to 3 p.m., people will not going to accept it directly. So somehow we tactfully need to change, let's say, the eastern time zone, the sir has already mentioned. And even in government, the things are on file that they will be shifting their time zone, the eastern region, northeast region. But again, need to deal all this very tactfully and not limited to the energy sectors or power sectors. We can combine the same with some sort of skilling, capacity building, and a kind of job prospects. Maybe that is my comment.
Right, right, right. Got your point, sir. Mr. Rajesh, sir, as Mr. Manan was telling, there is something going on. BEE is doing something regarding the social intervention thing. Do you have any idea? Is there anything going on from the government side to implement or come up with a blueprint, even to understand the things? Rajesh sir.
To the best of my knowledge, no, I have not heard about it. And apart from the BE, I feel there is a big role which regulators can play. In fact, they are the one who decides the tariff and other things. So we have to see. Second thing is, shall we assume that the social intervention is the responsibility of only Ministry of Power because it is related to the electricity? No, it is not possible. We have to see all the policies, all the things which are concerned that, like I gave you example of city planning and other things. Small things matter a lot. Now, Ministry of Labor Welfare. Now we talked about the lunchtime, we talked about this thing, it may not be possible, but who will decide? It is Ministry of Labor and Welfare. Other thing is, it may be the lunchtime we cannot have, but suppose we have a system that every 8 hours, 10 hours, or in a day, you have to clean the machines for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Now, what time we clean, can we coincide the time with the peak? Yes, that we can decide now. Definitely we can decide such things. So it's a question of total this thing. And it's not only the technical intervention, it is required a special study which need to be done. And these are the suggestions, these are the ideas. We have to be very careful when we plan for such thing. Implementation is difficult. But if we decide that we will go for it, definitely it is possible. I have interacting with a lot of utilities world over and used to share such ideas. I remember 2010 when I went to Rio, there was a big question because in Rio 2014 there was World Cup football and 2016 there was Olympic. And imagine Brazil is playing a match and suddenly the light goes. You will have chaos. They will burn the city. The answer was, we decided that time in the meeting that why don't we have giant screens everywhere so that we can have a backup DG power and other a lot of people. And it becomes successful. We are able to control peak demand and everything. Now, these ideas can be implemented. I'm not saying just implement like what I have mentioned. We can nurture the idea. And one example I would like to quote when we talk about battery and technical intervention. 40 years back, we stopped using paper bags because we said to make paper bags, we have to cut so many trees and other things. So better use plastic. And nowadays, plastic bags are banned. Again, we are back on the paper bag. So be careful when we talk about batteries and other things. So it is better if we can control the thing by the natural ways. It is far better by education, by awareness, by using religion, by using fashion. Fashion is a very powerful tool. Lot of hotels, they write, we have zero wastage, we are self-sustainable, we generate our own power. That becomes a statement by itself. So these things are the things which can be used, involve the people, engage the people, create awareness, and so that we can meet it. Otherwise, the way we are going, on one hand, we are not able to use solar, still implementing solar. On the other hand, we are going for thermal. We have to really look into it. The crisis is bigger. That is what my message is. And social interventions can always be planned, Why in India people eat food at 9 o'clock and why are there other places people eat 6 o'clock? It's all social, it's all society. Why today you can't have any engagement without a diamond ring? It was not so 30 years back. So these are all social. Society can change. It's up to the how we bring the awareness, how we do the things. It takes time. Yes, lot of time. But unless until we decide that we will go for it, it's not easy. Some of them are low-hanging fruits, which can be done. Some of them are direct policies. Like I said, we should have gardens, we should have nightlife, we should ensure this thing. All Shatabdi from Delhi, they start at 6 o'clock, but the metro also start at 6 o'clock. What does it mean? Means to catch the Shatabdi, you have to take a taxi. Simple. So we have to interlink all the things. Social is not in isolation. Social has to be linked with everything. So this is my yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Got your point. Mr. Himanshu. So, okay, Mr. Manan, taking this ahead, what Rajesh sir just said, crisis is more than means. If I say put it like this, crisis is behind the curtain. What we see is what actually is more than what we see. So, how do you take this point?
Uh, Well, to be frank, I'm not having a clear idea about this, but like as per government perspective, if you can think, then the target is with us, like 2030 targets, 2047 as a Viksit Bharat, 2070 as a net zero. So if we can incorporate this in line with some sort of target, like recently, yesterday only the National Electricity Policy draft has been published, right? And it is totally aligned with Viksit Bharat 2047. So what we are predicting, like what we wish we will be in future. So if we can incorporate this in line with some sort of target, then definitely it do have some sort of good ecosystem. Otherwise, definitely there will be, just like Raja sir has mentioned, the football match Brazil, and suddenly there was an electricity cut. So definitely there will be a total negative impact amongst the society, and there will be a big chaos. So tactfully, somehow we need to deal with the certain situations.
Okay, so coming to a technical point, Mr. Rajesh sir, shifting from social to technical point, if I ask, when we talk of building capability in power sector, how strategically we are moving ahead in this?
See, I will say a very simple parameter can tell whether we are on the right track or on the not on the right track. Every year, increase in the peak demand, percentage in the peak demand. Suppose the peak demand increased by 5%. Is the energy sale also increasing by 5%? If it is lower, means we are going on a wrong track. That means only peak is increasing, you keep on increasing the capacity, you increase it, but there is no business. Because you never consume peak, you consume energy. But if the peak is not increasing, energy is increasing, you are right on the right track. And see the data, you will get the answer. So the most important thing is we should not allow increase in the peak, we should allow increase in the unit consumption. That is the most crux. The growth is not by the peak, the growth is by the energy consumption. So if our peak is increasing in the same proportionate or in the better proportionate, the demand or energy consumption is not increasing, means we are on the wrong track. This is the basic parameter which we have to see. Because peak increase means all cost you have to bear, everything you have to do. So this is one parameter which can give a very clear picture. Any policy maker, anything who make the policy, they should keep this into the very much consideration. Incidentally, the data shows the peaks are increasing with the same level, the energy sales are not increasing. Now that is something which is very, very critical. We have to appreciate and we should understand. So what is the right method? Can we keep the same peak and manage the energy so that we have more sale of energy within the same peak? That means within the same capacity. Because if the peak is not going up, means you can manage in the same capacity. That is the efficient and the smart way of using the grid. So that should be the target, not the target. The demand is increasing, how to meet the generation to that demand. No, that should not be the target. The target should be, if I keep the same demand, can I have more sale of energy? So that unless until we change our goal, or we change our mission statement, it is slightly difficult to appreciate this thing. And there is a need. We should appreciate this and we should move towards this particular goal. Rather than meeting the demand, peak demand, our aim should be same demand and maximum energy.
So, Mr. Manan, so we'll be soon winding up. So just what Rajesh sir just said, and do you agree to this statement?
Yes, definitely. I do agree with Rajesh sir's comment. And ultimately, we need to verify the generation and the selling price of the power that Rajesh sir has clearly mentioned. So definitely, I do agree and need to incorporate all the parameters. Truly.